KUTV. I'm in southern Utah, and I am getting a look at the home that was the scene of a police standoff yesterday in the Little Valley area of St. George. I'm on Sieg Miller Drive, and behind me you can see the home that a suspect shot around 150 rounds from yesterday, shooting at law enforcement, eventually being arrested. So as we're waiting for some people to come in, I'm going to flip the camera around, give you a view of this house. So this is on East Sieg Miller Drive in Little Valley, and you can see that the home has been almost entirely burned. What had happened last night, this started as a domestic dispute, according to police. The suspect had fired at least one round in his home while there was a woman in the home with him. You can see police are still here. Investigations are still ongoing. So this suspect was in his home here in Little Valley, and there was a call for multiple shots fired. When police arrived, they were able to get the woman out of the home, and once they did that, the suspect started shooting at police. Police say that this suspect shot at least 150 rounds at law enforcement. During the time of that altercation, police were firing back, and at some point the house set on fire. You can see that fire damage. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Yes, you can see windows blown out. The whole front of the house is burned. You can see inside the house it's quite damaged. And once that fire started, the suspect eventually came out of the home due to smoke inhalation. However, police say he was still not complying, and they had to tase him in order to get him into custody. Now, I received the probable cause statement. Here, let me just give you a better look at this behind me here. So I received the probable cause statement, and according to police, the victim, the woman who was in the home, who was able to get out, she says that the suspect, his name is Benjamin Hansen. He's 41 years old. This is his home right here. He is the owner of the home. He had previously been 6 years sober, and she said that he recently relapsed. She suspected that he had been drinking and that he had possibly also taken prescription pills and that he may have been suicidal. That's when the domestic dispute broke out. She said they'd been fighting, that he hadn't been sleeping for several days, and that is what initially brought police here. Like I mentioned earlier, police say that this suspect, 41-year-old Benjamin Hansen, fired at least 150 rounds at law enforcement. Officers were able to take cover, and no one was shot, luckily. But according to the probable cause statement, police said that if they had not taken cover, they would have been shot at. This suspect has been charged with 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder, amongst other charges. And like I said, police said if they hadn't taken cover, they believe that they would have been shot. So the suspect has been taken into custody. He was apprehended after the house set on fire. We still have not been told the exact cause of the fire, but the smoke in the home is what brought the suspect out. He was tased, and then he was apprehended. Now, the woman who was in the home, the victim of the domestic dispute, said that this man, Benjamin Hansen, was drinking. He later admitted to police that he had also used cocaine, and that she believes that he may have been suicidal. They were able to get him out of the home alive and take him into custody. Officers are requesting that he is held without bail due to the public threat that he may pose. This is still a developing story. There's a lot of questions here. My main question being, how did this fire start, and what could have been the motivation for him to continue to fire at police? Luckily, no one was hit. There were no injuries. All police officers were okay. The victim in the home was okay, and that suspect was taken out alive. But you can see significant damage here. This road on Sieg Miller Drive is still closed. You can see the police line. There's officers in the house now, seem to be assessing some of the damage, but we do have a base camp set up here, and officers are continuing to investigate this crime. So still a developing situation. We'll be talking hopefully with the St. George Police Department and the Sheriff's Office later today to get more details on what happened here last night. But just to give you one more good look at the damage here, you can see whole facade of the house is burnt. On the side of the house here, you can see windows blown out and some additional smoke and fire damage. You can see that the owner's cars are still in the driveway right here. There's officers back there. Lots of burnt grass in the front here. You can see this is a relatively nice area of St. George. It's a little valley area. And I know that there is a casita in the back. The woman who was living in the casita said on social media that everything in her casita was burned and ruined, and so she was also impacted by this. Big clouds of smoke last night when this was going down. It took the officers a few hours to apprehend the suspect. Like I mentioned, once the fire broke out, the suspect did come out due to smoke inhalation. And they did have to tase him in order to apprehend him, but he is in custody, booked on several charges, including 4 attempted aggravated murder charges, as well as other gun-related charges, including brandishing a weapon while intoxicated. So there's a possibility that there will be additional charges filed, and some charges may be increased as this investigation continues. But we're in Little Valley. We're taking a look at this home. Get a good sense of the damage here. I'll zoom in a bit. Pretty large fire that broke out last night. At least 150 rounds fired at law enforcement. Law enforcement was able to take cover. They did exchange fire and fire back at the suspect, but no one was injured. Neither the suspect, the victim in the domestic dispute, or any law enforcement. And they were able to remove the suspect alive, which is a success in this case. So we'll continue to update you as we get more information on this. Like I mentioned, speaking with hopefully the Sheriff's Office and St. George Police later today. Still a developing story, but as of right now, we know that there's no further risk to the public.